Hey everybody, a lot of you have been asking me how to change the position of the escape button or the exit button for the games, and really the XRK joystick is kind of limited when it comes to that, but I thought of a easy way to make that happen and switch it so that it's on the back side of the XRK. That way when you're playing you don't accidentally press that button. If you're too excited and you're bashing buttons and you press escape by mistake, nobody likes that. So let's go ahead and take a look here. This is going to require a Phillips screwdriver, and pliers are optional, but they do come in handy, so I recommend having those handy. And all we're going to do is we're going to switch two buttons. So normally this button here is your exit button. We're going to change that to the back, and it's going to replace the button that is back there to the right of the program button, which is the one on the left. So that's your normal mode button or program button, and the one on the right, what that actually does is when you hold it down, it makes it so that the trackball is only vertical. Now the trackball is a mouse, so it'll your pointer, if you're looking at it and you're moving the mouse around, the trackball around, you're going to see that your mouse moves just like it would with a regular mouse. If you hold that button down, it's going to lock it in place and it's only going to move vertically. So that's good for, let's say, something like golden tee. All right, so you just want that up and down movement like that. All right, so we're going to make it so that that button is here now and the exit button is back there now. Okay, so to do that, you want to go ahead and flip your controller around. And you're going to see all these little rubber feet. They all have screws in them. So what you want to do is you want to take, I'm going to use my flat screwdriver for this. You want to take the little rubber in the center of the foot, and you want to take that out, and then you're going to see that reveals the screw right there. So go ahead and unscrew that and do the same thing for every single one of these little rubber feet. I already did it to save time, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove this single one on the corner here. Oh, still have the flathead on there. Still the flathead. Okay, so once you do that to all of them, you can just go ahead and pop off this cover here. And that's going to reveal the inside of the controller. Now, all you have to do to get this to work is you want to change around the set of cables that go to this button here. Okay? If you're looking at it from the back here, it's going to be the button to the left. You want to get it so that these two cables going to that button come over to this button instead, which is your current exit button. Okay, so all you have to do, if you look at these, all these are micro switches. So if you pull back on this little tab here, you're going to see that you can just pop that switch right out. Pull back on the little tab and the switch comes out. Okay, and it's just a micro switch. And that has the two wires going to it. Now it doesn't matter, the orientation of the wires doesn't matter. As long as these same two are the ones being switched to that other button, you're going to be fine. So it might be easier. You can remove them while the button is still in place, but sometimes they're a little bit rough to get out. So it might be easier for you to just pop out the button just like this, and then go ahead and remove these. Now be careful when you do that. You don't want to put a lot of pressure and then yank it out and end up pulling this and breaking the whole thing. So just be mindful of what you're doing. Don't pull the cable, pull the actual metal part only. So grab it like right there, and if you have pliers, you can kind of use these as leverage. Just kind of work your way like that. All right, so now that we have these two buttons, so these two cables, so it's the blue and the orange cable. Now that you have them off of here, what you want to do is you're also going to have to take this wire out of here and out of this button, because you want this to be connected up there, and as you can see, it doesn't reach. So we're going to kind of just shift things around. This one will go here, then this one will go there, and then it'll allow us to put this one over here because then it'll reach. Okay, and all this is the ground cable. So let's put this one aside for now. Now before you do this, just pay attention to where everything is. Take a picture. You can even label everything if you want before doing this. But right now I'm just taking it out of this button here. Okay, so I took that one out. And I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of this button here as well. So there you go, I took that one out. Now I can go ahead and save this one to plug to that button up there. So I'll take this one and put it here now. I'm gonna put it right back here. And that's the orange wire, which is the ground wire. Then this one gives us just enough slack to connect back to this one here. Okay, so now what we've achieved so far is we removed this micro switch and the two cables that were going to it. One of them is over here somewhere. Where did I drop it? Here it is, the blue one. And then we shifted those that ground cable, we shifted so that we would have enough slack over here to connect to the new button we're going to. Okay, so now that that's done, we're gonna go ahead and remove the two connections that are on this button currently. So let's go ahead and do that. And luckily those actually have plenty of slack to reach over here now. Remember, we're putting this over here now. So we don't actually need to physically switch the buttons. These are just micro switches, they're all the same. We're just concerned with the actual connection. So let's go ahead and plug that back in here, like so. And then you can go ahead, make sure they're snug, you know, and then go ahead and pop it back into the actual button, the little plastic holder here. Now there's a nipple in the back here and there's one in the front. The back is shorter, the front is a little bit taller. So what you want to do is, you know, put the little hole here and here into those two little nipples. So it's easier to just do the bottom one first, this one like that. Make sure the micro switch is facing down. You hook it on the back like that, and then you just kind of pull back on the taller one, and then it just push it down and snaps right into place. You shouldn't be able to pull this out. So now that button is done. It's connected to the cables that this button was connected to. So now we're going to take this ground cable that we shifted around before and connect that to one of these terminals. And finally, the original blue cable that we took out of this button here. We're going to take that and plug it back into that button there. Now make sure everything's nice and tight. And that's basically it, guys. That is now going to make it so that your exit button is in the back here, and the button that was here is now there, which isn't going to affect you because all that button does again is make it so that the trackball is it locks it into a vertical orientation instead of being, you know, vertical and horizontal. So if you press that button by mistake while you're playing, nothing's going to happen. So now what you would do is you would go into your game, you know, same as before with the enter button, but once you want to exit, you reach to the back, press this button here, and that's going to kick you out. And that way when you're playing, you're not going to hit that by mistake and get kicked out of the game in the middle of the gameplay. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.